But just before they could take him, we heard the lightning. And when this guy went over to check it out, we saw the GOAT taking care of business. I said we saw the GOAT take care. Man, DJ, spin that shit. Actually, no. We'll save that one for later. Actually, no. We'll do that right now. DJ. Man, DJ. Man, DJ, spin that shit.
Can I count this song up real quick? Can I count this song up real quick? Give me 3 times. Give me 3 times. Give me 1 time. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. More time.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but I do not like Fraud Soul. I know. I know. Big shocker, big shocker. But even though I don't like Fraud Soul, I got no problem with Pre-Power's Yang Cheng. Like I said in the last vid, he was a really cool dude. The only real issue was his social anxiety and the way he was moving around Shang Chao. But that can be excused for the most part. Not only was he just socially awkward in general, but he also had a lot of trauma as a result of being ostracized for having zero trust value. So I understand. And while we're on the topic of trust value, can we all agree that it makes zero sense? Like, we know that the more trust value you have, the stronger you get. And depending on what people think of you, it affects your abilities and powers. Great, I understand that, right? But what I don't understand is how this man Yang Cheng managed to have zero trust value for his whole life. Like, I would understand if he was like a homeless man or like everybody hated him on some Kid Naruto energy. But no, bro has at least 2 friends and a loving uncle. Well, maybe not loving, but I mean, he's there. So you would think bro would have at least one, no? Like, I get his parents were killed and he was orphaned, so I can see why he would have none right after that. But again, 2 friends and an uncle he's alive, okay? And on top of that, he's literally loved by all these kids at his job. Like, you telling me none of them believe in this guy? Like, would he not be some type of like local celebrity or something? Even little Pomelo adored him from the jump, bro. But he was just on his little tsundere arc, so he was just hating just to hate. I say all this to say, he should have had at least 1 trust value post-time skip. And at first I was thinking, okay, maybe regular people just have no trust value, all right? That's cool. But if that was the case, he wouldn't have gotten bullied for it. We see when he's having a depressive episode in custody that not only was he bullied for having no trust value, but he even missed out on internships because they had a trust value requirement. So it can't be some type of normal occurrence, and it has to be some type of anomaly. And I honestly wouldn't even care too much about this if not for the fact that after just getting 1 trust value, this man went from Mumem Rider to Static Shock. Like, bro went from a regular human to being so durable that he was breaking metal crowbars. Like, not only did he eat the hit, he also hit the goon with the choke into the force push like, okay, Anakin?
Anakin's gone.
I had to do it at some point, bro. I had to. Let me just get Bro, can you stop with the edit? But if Yang got this strong from just 1 trust value, does that mean everybody else is superhuman? And if that were the case, wouldn't these 2 be superhumans too? Since there's no way they have 0 trust values, since it's such an anomaly. And even if they weren't, Yang Cheng going from 0 to 1 made him superhuman. So is his baseline of 0 just stronger than the average person? Like some type of heavily restriction? Wait, it all makes sense now. Oh my goodness. An outcast, absolute 0, enhanced physical specs. Wait. Everybody stop! Stop!
Stop! I've played these games before!
But seriously, this man Yang might just be Toji. Let me cook, because I know on the surface you might. Wait, bro! Like, why are you trying to click off the video, bro? Like, stop, chill. Let me cook. Let me cook, okay? Like, yeah, but this man might. Bro, stop! You know what, Dr. Strange? Hold up still for me.
By the eye of Agamotto!
But like, for real, y'all might think I'm playing, but when you really look at the stuff Yang was doing pre-powers, that man might just have to get drug tested. And I know I said it's gonna be a low editing video, and it still is, trust me, but we gotta switch to commentary mode for this next section. So the scene starts with Yang and Lil Pomelo heading out of an alleyway to go back home. And off wake up, Yang gets smacked in the back with a metal pipe, putting him down for the count. And this is where the superhuman shenanigans begin. Because as we clearly see, Yang is dazed and his vision is blurry. And on top of that, the goons had already taken off with Pomelo. So if you account for the time it takes Yang to recover and the velocity of the truck, Yang got about carry the one, take the remainder. Man, he got too much distance to cover, bro. It doesn't even matter. So with that in mind, can somebody please tell me how the hell this man is keeping up with them on a bike? Like, look! And they on the freeway, so I know they're pushing at least 50. I'm telling you, bro, this man is not normal. And keep note of the color of the sky for me real quick, because that's about to get real important soon. Also, notice how Lil Pomelo does not have a seatbelt on. That's about to get important soon as well. But this man Yang was hawking them down for a solid 20 minutes so far, non-stop, pushing a bare minimum 30 miles per hour with this suit of armor on. He was getting airtime, swerving corners, and riding off-road like Kick Batowski. That is, until he crashed and was left in the dust. And with the hero wiped out, there was nobody left to save Pomelo. So the goons drove off into the sunset, just minutes away from their destination. But just when all seemed lost, my brother, are you serious? Bro. Bro, and you mean to tell me this guy is a regular human? We just saw that he got left in the dust after he crashed. So that would give the goons at least bare minimum a solid 20-second head start. And we know they were driving for a couple of minutes with no Yang in sight because A, they would have said something if he was still following them. They would have seen him in the rear view. And B, the sun went down further. Remember this? Yeah, compared to this. Exactly. So you mean to tell me with a straight face, he got up from his crash, got on his bike, hawked down the literal car, found a shortcut to meet them under the bridge, bent the corner like Beckham, and caught the van. Are you guys starting to believe me whenever I say he's not normal? And look at his landing, bro. Windshield broken, back broken, suit broken, everything broken. Jumped from the top rope and hit all glass. And if that wasn't enough, bro, just watch this real quick. All of those niggas are dead. I don't care what nobody says. Okay, so they did not in fact die. And even if you wanted to argue that Yang's armor protected him, at the very least, Pomelo should be deceased. That man had no seatbelt on, and he was out there doing barrel rolls like Badus and Sway Sway in that van. I know he was getting tossed around like a hot potato, but lo and behold, not only is Yang somehow the first one to regain consciousness, but Pomelo doesn't have a blemish on his body. But just when the day finally seemed saved. Now look, I know it's anime, and I know that injuries don't really mean much as long as the will to fight still burns in your heart and your friends still need you and whatnot, but my goodness, bro. He just landed back first on a windshield, tumbled into a ditch, ate a crowbar to the back of the head, and I get the helmet was still on, but it still drew blood. And on top of that, he proceeded to fight two armed men, unarmed mind you, and actually held his own. He was out there weaving strikes, parrying blows, and getting absolutely clocked. Wait, an unwinnable fight? A tsundere child to save? The will to be a hero? No, not again. No. Leave me alone! Stop! But while we're on the topic of the fight, I think this is probably the best time to say this. Even though I give Yang a lot of flack for his decisions post-powers, like I said in the beginning, I actually really like pre-powers Yang Cheng. But this fight in particular, with the flashbacks and Yang's unbreakable will, if you didn't like this, then you can't really claim to like a lot of other goated scenes, like Lee vs. Gaara, Lemillion vs. Overhaul, etc, etc. Not to say they're on the same level, but the theme of never giving up, fighting in the face of insurmountable odds, and undying will are all present in those fights. I would argue that this fight is the only section where Yang Cheng was truly Iso, so I'll be referring to him as such out of respect. Like, just look at this scene, bro. This man is on death's door, facing two people completely out of his league, and all he cares about, all he sees, is the little boy he has to save. All he wants to be is the Iso who saved him from the exact same situation 16 years ago. Nah, bruh, Iso, you the freaking GOAT, man. And with blood dripping down his face and death looming over him, he keeps fighting. Catches this fist, grabs his leg, and gives them enough shock therapy to last a lifetime. And keep in mind, Isol is feeling the voltage too, but he endures it for Pomelo's sake. But they get to scuffling. Isol eats a brick to the face and a shoe to the noggin. And with the final blow incoming, little Pomelo hit bro with the... And I almost shed a tear. And even though the music was good, I think we could do something a little bit better. DJ, you know what to do, man.
You can do it, Isol!
Hold on, y'all. Let me bask in this real quick before copyright gets me.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
But after getting his powers, Yang went straight to work. Weave, parry, block, munchies. And this goon really went for the Superman punch like he wasn't about to get put in a highlight reel. Got hit with the command grab and sent flying for the happy birthday. And with the war cry straight from the heart, Isol ended the battle. And as he stood there victorious, he finally gained the one thing he had been missing for so long. Because although he always had the heart of a hero, with this trust value, he finally gained the soul of one. More specifically, an electric soul. No, that's too long. How about we just call him... All right, that's enough. Because as good as he was pre-powers, post-powers, oh my goodness. And since it's his post-powers, he is no longer Isol to me. He is. But let's get into it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Isol saved Yang Cheng's life. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna just start calling him Yang. I'm not doing that because we're like on a first name basis or nothing. I just don't want to say his full name, bro. I do not mess with this guy. But anyways, Isol saved Yang's life, right? And even though that was 16 years ago, the impact of the experience clearly had a lasting impact on Yang. Brother was dressing up as him for work. He had posters of him in his room, action figures next to his bed, and was all around a super fan. So now tell me, my dear viewer, if you suddenly began to develop the same powers as your lifelong idol, would you A, steal his entire identity, take away his fans, and by extension the source of his powers, B, make it clear that he is the original and give him credit for all the work he has done over the years, or C, do nothing and just bask in the glory of the moment? Well, regardless of what you picked, we all know what he picked. And yes, I know that he was worried about it in the beginning, but Shang Chao told him to become a whole new Isol and whatnot. But does that really justify it? Me personally, I don't think so. All it would have taken was a simple announcement, a tweet, a Facebook post to clear the air. Just a simple, I know you guys love the kid, but I think we should give some credit to the real Isol. Simple. And the crazy part is, I know his fans would have loved it too. Would have made him seem like a humble individual while also preserving both Isol's images. A win-win if you ask me. But no, he kept quiet, took his fans, his fame, his powers, and even his name. Now, to be fair, we do have to look at the underlying drivers during this arc. Yang was a kid who was viciously bullied and outcasted for his lack of trust value and developed social anxiety from it. So it makes sense that after getting the thing he longed for so long, he would want to bask in the moment and do anything to preserve it. Like, just look at how much his life changed. It seemed like he was finally getting the girl he wanted. Even though she low-key wanted him from the jump, but that's another story. But he was finally getting the girl he wanted. And on top of that, the kids loved him. Even though they low-key loved him whenever he was on stage as Isol, but that doesn't really matter. They loved him. And while I still do not like post-powers Yang, I can't really say in good faith he did anything wrong per se. More so, I just heavily disagree with some of his decisions. Because at the end of the day, he was just being a hero, saving lives, interacting with fans, the whole spiel. He wasn't dissing Isol, he wasn't spreading rumors, nothing. I just really wish he gave Isol some credit. He saved your life, inspired you to be a hero, and not only are you wearing an older version of his armor, you are literally taking his powers and his fans. And you know you are because you see the trust value balances converging and you see how his popularity is decreasing as a direct result of you. So I don't know, it's just a bit odd to me. And speaking of decisions I do not agree with, let's get into the events after the death of Shang Chao, because this is where I really started to hate on Yang, bro. And look, I know in my last video I went full J. Jonah Jameson on Yang and oversimplified his whole conflict with Esau. But even though it was an oversimplification, I still believe that there was merit to what I was saying. To this day, I still can't stand behind Yang turning on OG Esau and blaming him for Shang Chao's death. And maybe I'm wrong, but when you really break it down, you start to see that Esau was the last person Yang should have blamed for the death of his friend. First and foremost, he saved your life. Dude, okay, I know I've said it like 5 times, but I don't care, okay? That scene was very gorgeous to me. But he saved your life, right? And I know it was 16 years ago, and that's more than enough time for a person to do a complete 180 in their character, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Second, when you actually break down the interrogation scene, you immediately start to see cracks in the entire plot. First and most importantly, the footage provided by Shang Chao. In it, we see the hit for Pomelo's kidnapping being ordered, and we find out that the call was encrypted. And this right here should have immediately cleared Esau of any suspicion for framing Yang. Since we know that the kidnapping happened before Yang had any relevance, it wouldn't make sense for Esau to engineer a scenario like this to frame Yang in the future. And while by itself this may not be concrete, when you pair it with the evidence provided earlier in the episode, the story stops making sense. The goons claim that Yang was the one who ordered the kidnapping in an attempt to make himself famous, but after finding out that the call was encrypted and that it couldn't have been Yang who made the hit, one might point to Esau as the culprit. But like I just mentioned earlier, Esau would have no reason to target or frame Yang and would instead be creating problems for himself. And with that being the case, it would be a stretch to even connect Esau to the two goons, as you would have to claim that he set up a person who was the least possible threat to his position possible and somehow knew he would become famous and steal his identity. But by that logic, he would be the one that engineered his defeat, like some kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, this is getting confusing, bro. He had no connection to the goons, but let me get to my next point. And with no connection to the two goons, it wouldn't really make sense to blame Esau for Shang Chao's death, since the one who completed the hit was one of said goons. Now, even though I'm saying all this, I do understand that one, Yang wasn't in the greatest mental state during the investigation and was beginning to sink into depression at the thought of going back to having zero trust value, so he wouldn't be too focused on connecting the dots. And 2, Yang was also grieving the death of his friend, so he was filled with anger and that inhibited his thinking as well. And 3, on the surface, the only people that would have probable cause to mess with Yang this much would be Esau and his agents. But with the evidence that was provided before, it just doesn't line up the way that it would have to justify Yang fighting Esau to the death. But that's just me. And not only did you challenge, bro, and not only did you fight him to the death, but you challenged bro on his anniversary, bro. Like, you couldn't even let him have that. And this speech really pissed me off, man. All of a sudden you want to start talking about how some, I loved Esau and I really loved his values. But when you was on the come up, we ain't here hide no hair of this. Man, shut up, bro. And while we on the topic, can we talk about how much of a tragic hero Esau is, bro? And no, I'm not talking about the fraud, bro. Like, keep up. We don't call him that when the GOAT is in the room. I already said this. But this man was really the definition of a hero for over 30 years. He ain't basking the fame. He didn't care to maintain a facade and save people everywhere he could and stood as a symbol of power and peace. He even had to kill his friend Zero after he went berserk to protect the people. Gave everything he had for the people. And what did they do? They gave up on him. Really threw him to the side like Allen Iverson. Had my dog fighting to the death against one of the very people he saved. And the worst part is, not only was he framed, but he didn't even want to fight. And the only reason he fought was because if he didn't, he wouldn't be able to be a hero anymore. And we know he wasn't a hero for the fame or the ranking, and he only cares about saving and inspiring people. So he literally fought just for the chance to keep on saving people. Like, that right there is a true hero. And some of y'all trying to tell me that this man right here is a tragic hero, when all of his problems were literally solvable. He ain't bagged his girl not because she didn't want him, but only because he didn't believe she wanted him. She asked you out on a date, but you said no and lied that you don't like Lucky Cyan for some reason. She came to your performance. She stayed by your side, assuring you that she would always be there. But the moment you hear that she got asked out, you gonna start hating on your mans, as if she didn't already ask you out. But before, you was happy for them, no? I peeped that little smirk you did whenever he pulled up. But now he got a gun to his head, and suddenly you got this man blacked out in your head like Mr. Popo. Now your powers turn off and you start hesitating. Yeah, all right, bro. As if he didn't just save you from literal jail time with this fourth quarter buzzer beater. Let me chill out, bro, because I can already see the comments and this video is already getting long, bro. But I do understand that his powers are connected to his mental state, and hearing her call his name might have triggered the deep-rooted resentment he had been harboring for Shang Chao, despite everything he had done for him. But I digress, and that was why his powers turned off. But with that being said, I don't like Fraud Soul. Pre-powers Yang Cheng is the true Esol, and Rock is Perry the Platypus. I'm out.
Ayo, Shaw. Ha 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 ha. Whatever, shut up.
No, but seriously, how did nobody put 2 and 2 together? Or even just 1 and 1 together? We know that Rock has shown his face on TV before, because we saw him live during the opening of Mighty Glory in the Queen section. So you would think... But anyways, DJ, see him at the door for me. Okay, blanket off, you know what I'm saying, outro time. Now, I was thinking of covering the Esol on Esol conflict, but that, like I said, this was supposed to be a low editing video, and that would not be a low editing section. And this video, like I said, is already getting really long. It's probably, what, 25 minutes? I think this should be the longest video I've ever made, so yeah, I didn't have enough for enough in me to do all that. But if y'all really want to see it, you know what I'm saying, run up this video, and yeah, we gonna get to it after the other video I'm gonna drop mid-April.
Cap.
But I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry if my voice was giving out midway. I don't know what was happening. I just kind of woke up weird. So yeah, and yeah, be sure to join Discord, join TikTok, become a member if you're interested in extra videos. I'll try to stream next Friday. No promises, but I'll try to stream next Friday. Actually, I don't know when this video is coming out, so it probably won't be next Friday. But yeah, let's end off with a prayer. I'm hoping to have this video out by Easter.
Cap.
So what should we do for Easter? Whatever, let's just pray. Everybody bow your heads, bro. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, I thank you for the person on the other side of the screen. Lord, I want to lay my hands on them. I want to ask for blessings. I want to declare blessings over their life. I want to cast out any demons, any spirits, any spirit of laziness, any spirit of lust, any spirit of greed, any spirit of anxiety, any spirit of worry. Lord, you told us not to worry, because you told us the same way you take care for the animals in the field, the birds in the sky, how much more will you take care of the ones made in your own image? Lord, I want to cast out any anxiety, any deep-rooted fear in this person's heart. Lord, I want to wring it out like a towel so that they can be soaked in your blood, soaked in your spirit, and rejuvenated. And they can finally come to realize the fullness of your love, the totality of your might, the entirety of your glory, and fall to their knees in humility and gratitude out of thankfulness for the grace you have given us, out of thankfulness for the love you bestow on us, out of thankfulness for the Father you are. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen. Love you guys so much. And yeah, I don't think I have many bloopers this video, but I'm gonna see y'all. CineMaker out. Toodles. Now, even though I'm saying all this, I do understand that one, Yang wasn't in the greatest mental state during the investigation and was beginning to sink into depression at the top. Dude, I need okay, this is getting weird. Love. Bro, my morning voice is going away. No. But after finding out that the call was encrypted and that it couldn't have been Yang who made the hit, one might point to Esol as the culprit. But like I just mentioned earlier, Esol would have no reason to target or frame Yang and would instead be I'm trying so hard to keep composure, bro. I am 8 takes onto this one line. And I'm starting to see, oh my gosh. Let's just get back to it, bro. And I know in my last video, I went full J. Jonah Jameson on Yang and oversimplified his whole conflict with OG Eso. But even though it was an I'm sorry. Hey, hold on. But even though it was, I can't. And with no connection to the two goons, it wouldn't make sense to blame Eso for Yang Cho's death. Yang Cho's death? I mean, what are you even? Oh my, dude, I'm so done with this video, bro. Frick, man, so done with this video.
Hey, yo, Shaw. Whatever, shut up.
Get rocked, made the boy see stars. Slow 5 points, how I bring these bars. Light up his head, no charge. Might hit the deck, he get left in the yard. Ain't taking a piece, boy, I take the whole puzzle. Gold on his neck, then I'm pulling.